I'm back. Hi, guys. Hopefully you're not sick of me yet. But I am really looking forward to this panel because, again, we get to hear from the brand side and the creator side here today. So both of the panelists here, you guys have had really interesting and unique careers in this world of creator marketing and creators. So I'd love if you could kick it off with just a little bit about your background and what you're working on today. So Scarlette, should we start with you?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. I feel like GRIN is family at this point. But as Olivia mentioned, I'm Scarlette Tidy. I have been a storyteller my whole life. I like to tell this funny story about me banging down the principal's door in middle school because I truly demanded a middle school newspaper, which is the most storyteller thing, I think, ever. That really quickly translated to influencer marketing, but 10 plus years ago, I was kind of hidden, kind of what Yasmin said, tucked away under communications and PR, but I was always that weirdo who followed strangers on the internet and felt really inspired by their stories. I got really into influencer marketing through my time on the brand side at Fenty Beauty, and now fast forward so many years later, I'm running my own social and influencer marketing agency, helping a lot of brands navigate this space, telling them about GRIN, telling them all about the influencer playbook, and having a lot of fun doing it.
Got it. Meghan?
Hi, I'm Meghan. I started my content creation journey during the pandemic in 2021. I was working a 9-to-5 in public policy and government, and it was very different from this. And I had some extra time. I always admired content creators, like just how they were able to just show up on camera. I was actually very introverted. My Instagram was on private. I never took pictures of myself. It was only family and friends. And I had some extra time. I was like, okay, if not now, then when? So I just tried it, and I never expected anything out of it. I remember I cried the first time I got gifting. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And to this day, I'm still in awe that I've been able to make a career out of it. I'm managed by an amazing team, and they're here. And I just love being able to connect with people and storytelling. That's my favorite thing to do. So that's how I started out.
I love that. And even from COVID times till now, I'm sure a lot has changed, even in that short span. So I want to do a little bit of a then versus now with both of you. So when you entered the space then to now, what have you seen shift from platforms to brands, how they're reaching out? What's really been the biggest shift?
Should I lead?
Yes.
All right. I feel like when I first got started, it was a lot of throwing spaghetti at the wall. I truly was navigating kind of blindly, trying to figure it out as I go. Now I have a team that I can train on best practices, and there are so many case studies, the do's and don'ts behind being a good influencer marketer and what that means. And I feel like back then you were kind of defining it as you went, which there's a lot of creativity, I think, still in this space, but you're not having to guess a lot of the time. There's a lot of it spelled out for you. So it's a nice transition, I think, in the last decade.
Yeah.
I think for me, the creator perspective, in the beginning, I really thought everything had to be prim, polished, everything had to be perfect before I put it out. And now people are looking for their comfort creators. They're looking for connection. And I had to get over a mental hurdle. I was sitting on content for months. And then I look back, I was like, this is too old. My hair's different now. I don't even wear my makeup this way anymore, so I can't put it out because I was overthinking it. But now people are really looking for that connection, that human level connection, and kind of over I think when people think of influencers, sometimes think of luxury, hyper luxury, or trying to sell a lifestyle. People really want to feel seen and connected. At least that's what I've heard from my audience and within other creators that I talk to. That's what resonates the most.
Yeah, I think we see that all the time with our brands. It's that connection piece, and I couldn't relate more to the waiting to post. Posting a LinkedIn for me is a terrifying experience. I don't know about you guys, but it takes me days to build up the courage to do that. So I always admire creators for their ability to share, to open up their lives, and to be able to build those stories. But where I want to go now is really the future of marketing. And something that obviously we just talked about was AI. It's something that we can't avoid right now. Google is having a big announcement today also about AI, which we're going to steal their thunder on AI, is what I'm saying. But I would love first, before we dive in, to get a pulse check from both of you guys on your appetite or your usage of AI. So are you a fan or are you not?
I feel like I'm probably a super fan at this point. My husband's a super nerd and I think convinced me to start using AI a couple years ago. So I feel like I'm such an early adopter to the point where I push it on my team and they're in the corner questioning like, is this too much? Like, do we need to take it easy? And I do really feel like it's changing the game for so many. So I am all about it, probably to a fault, but I'll scale back when it's right. So yeah, big fan.
Big fan. Meghan, what about you?
Chat GBT and me go together real bad, like my free therapist. But besides that, like I use it often. I feel like there's limits. Like I think, and we'll talk about it more, where I feel like there's a little fatigue also, where AI is such a big topic and people can spot it. Like viewers are looking out there, like they can tell when something's written by ChatGPT and not.
What?
M dashes, I mean.
Yes, yeah, M dashes all over.
Or not like written in somebody's authentic voice.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's limitations, and for me, we were talking about it where I feel like it enhances, it like helps with my creative process, but it's never going to replace it. And I think that's really important to remember, because I think there was like creators were getting a little scared, like, is AI going to replace, us? And I'm like, no, there's no way, because people can spot it, and again, they're looking for that connection, not just being sold something constantly.
I think that's what people look for in a creator, right? Is that connection, that humanness. And I think there was a lot of fear around replacing creators with AI creators, but you miss that whole humanness. You miss that connection. You miss that real life. So why don't we go to you again, Meghan? I want to hear, how are you using AI? What are the places that as a creator it is showing up? Is it for editing content? Is it for captions? Where are the places you're finding it the most helpful as a creator?
Yeah, so right now I'm like transitioning my own feed right now. Before it was primarily fashion, and when it comes to fashion, it's like filming myself putting on an outfit and then throwing music on top of it. So it wasn't like too intense, but now I'm going more into storytelling, and I can be a yapper. So sometimes I throw my ideas in there, and I also told my ChatGPT, like, okay, this is what I'm trying to convey. Like, I'm trying to convey that this is the ethos of my story, or the plot of whatever I'm talking about, and it helps me get those points. But again, like, I don't just blindly put that or say it, the script. I use it, the pointers, and then go ahead and put it in my own voice. So I use it a lot to brainstorm and sometimes content plan, because right now my my niche is kind of widening. So definitely for more brainstorming and helping with my creative process right now.
I love that. That's great. And Scarlette, what about you? Because I know you work across multiple clients. I'm sure sometimes you wish you could just multiply yourself and your team. So how are you using AI to sort of scale and work with clients and be able to embed it?
Yeah, well, I feel like right now it's kind of been an interesting year. So offering a little bit more value adds to our clients, especially when we can identify weaknesses in their overall strategy. So social and influencer is really the place where if you have a problem in your marketing strategy, it's going to show up. So with one of our clients, Anissa Beauty, recently, we just felt like we really needed to revamp their brand deck. This was really their brand positioning and the way that they were kind of heroing out their talking points. And we had a working session with ChatGPT, and basically we all kind of added in what we felt was really important about the brand, and then had it kind of spit back some one-liners to us, and then we really used that to fuel this new kind of positioning for the brand, and the client loved it. Totally hearing you, Meghan, though, like we had to scrub that thing multiple times, because sometimes ChatGPT and all other agents hallucinate, and that's a real thing. But I'm using it for anything and everything right now, and it's really like my mini me that I've trained to be a therapist, be a chef in the kitchen, but also an influencer marketer on the side. So she's versatile.
What's her name? You gotta find a name.
I know, like Skia, I don't know.
That's great. What's an area that you don't think AI can do? What's one thing that you firmly believe needs to be done by you and solely you?
For me, client management, even though sometimes the hard to send emails get thrown through ChatGPT, I feel at the end of the day what we do is about human connection. And I think that's going to be said multiple times throughout any panel as AI comes and takes over. But I truly do feel like at the heart of what we're doing is people helping people by connecting with people. And there's so many lived experiences that you bring into that ChatGPT or any other AI will kind of pretend to know, or I don't even really know the right wording for that, but a lived experience is going to overpower any sort of AI, I think, in the kind of person-to-person connection.
Yeah, I think Colette was saying, she says to her team, like, go get a coffee with creators, and like, you can't do that with AI. AI can't do that. So it's those things that just have to be human to human. Yeah. Meghan, what about you?
I would say the same thing. Like relationships, like obviously you cannot replace that with AI. And obviously the content creation part, again, I think there were those tools that are coming out for advertised to brands being like, you could just plug in a script to this person that looks very human. But again, the audience is gonna be able to notice the little glitch and like then not trust the brand overall. Yeah. So I feel like it's really important to still use creators in terms of like pushing out content and trying to advertise a product.
I feel like even just with us meeting via this panel, like we made a point to go and like chat with each other and get to know each other and understand kind of our point of views, and I feel like that made a huge difference in like just this whole experience today too.
Yeah, it really does. And I've tried using that where you put in your voice into AI and it replicates it, and it can't get my accent right, so it's not perfect yet. All right, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about staying relevant, because as we know, this industry is shifting all the time. There's new platforms that are coming out often, and there's trends that are popping up all the time. So how do you guys stay on the pulse of culture as it shifts? Scarlette, I'd love to start with you, because trends come and go, right? And you're working with legacy brands, some more up-and-coming brands. So how do you actually help clients decide which trends to jump on, which platforms to use? What's your logic there?
Yeah, I really feel like me and my team pull inspo from everything. So not just trends in beauty or trends in fashion. We're really looking at what's culturally relevant. So if it's summer, what are the kind of topics that people are talking about outside of just how you wear your kind of different makeup routines or your skincare routines. But when it comes down to picking and choosing a trend, because there are millions, I really believe in this concept of trend jacking, and shameless plug to the beauty ebook that I got to contribute to. I really feel like you can make any trend your own if you kind of put your own twist on it. So I'm always trying to push that narrative to our clients and also to the team. Like if you really feel like you can execute a trend in the best way and it's just going to take a little tweak, like let's see it. It takes 2 minutes to do or hours to do. It's okay. You're getting paid for it. Like why not take a risk?
Okay, love it. Meghan, what about you? Because as a creator, I'm sure it's mad. There's so many trends that you could create content on. So how do you decide for you and your brand, like as a creator, what makes sense?
Yeah, it has to first like excite me as a person, because I always view my content and when I create it of the viewer's perspective as well. And I love what you said about just like there's so many out there, like what do you pick and choose? But I think always bringing it, like you would bring it back to the brand, I would bring it back to my personal brand. Like there's so many trends out there and people can get trend fatigue, but I feel if I find a trend, I'm like, how can I twist this to bring it back? Because say if it were to go viral and it has nothing to do with my personal brand, people are gonna see it, go to my page and be like, that's not really what I was expecting. So I always try to make it go back to like what my personal message is on my page, which is about like bringing joy to people, making people feel seen and stuff like that. So how do I make the trend relatable back to my personal brand? Is the big thing.
I think that's such an excellent point, because for social media marketers or influencer marketers, the whole point of doing a trend, like what is the point of it, right? And I think it's at the heart of it storytelling. So I think questioning yourself, like why are we jumping on this? Is it to say something or do we have something to say? And I think that's so important, because the worst thing that could happen is you go viral for something that means absolutely no sense to the purpose of what you're trying to do, and you don't want to have those 15 minutes of fame and fall off hard.
No. And are there any cultural moments that stick out recently that you feel have been really good brand building moments to jump onto?
We were chatting about
Yeah,
this.
we were chatting about it. I feel like I can kind of weigh in from the brand side. I love that we've transitioned from what you were saying, Megan, to this like super polished mindset of like we only have to show our successes. Like social media is just the reel of all the fun and beautiful things. Brand founders now are really kind of showing you the ins and outs of what it takes to be a brand builder, and I think at the heart of it, they are influencers in their own right. So being able to do the like day 100 of opening a cafe, or these are the behind the scenes of how many packaging samples we went through before we finally landed on the one. I just think that is so important because I think consumers are really connecting with that. And also like it gives influencers this way to kind of test and learn, what they want to do. And I think it just opens more doors for different types of content.
Yes, I love it, to pick up on what she said in terms of like brand founders now becoming like their own influencers. One of the most impactful ones that I've seen recently is Poppy, the soda brand. It's so successful, so that's all you see. But then recently, there was a major success. I think she got bought out or something like that from Coca-Cola or Pepsi, and she did kind of a throwback from day one of where she was like pregnant and she's like making soda in her garage, and now it's this global brand. So I love to see that as a consumer. It makes me feel more connected to the brand. But we were also talking about, what was it?
Like
the Artist's
Dochi
Way.
and,
Yes.
Yeah, Chapel Roan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a lot of content creators are kind of taking that as a roadmap to like show like the ugly parts, not the not so polished parts, and viewers really want to go on a journey with people. They don't want to just see like the success. They want to see themselves in that process as well, that they can do it as well. So.
Oh, I love that sort of content. I like seeing the behind the scenes, like the how it's built, like the backstory. I think it does make you connect more with the brand, especially to Poppy's brand. It's so big now, but remember the days when we were just like starting out. I think it is really resonating. I know Ryan, our CEO, he's talking a lot on Instagram and like showing more of the behind the scenes too, of even like how we've built Gia, and it's resonating. I think people love that sort of content.
Yeah, and I think it also kind of goes back to your digital footprint, right? Like we're so focused on getting that first piece of content or the kind of one that's most recent served now and what's that impact, but like any of us, when you find an influencer, you find a brand you like, you often go and visit that profile and scroll back and kind of get to, consume and digest everything else. And I think, like we were bringing up how Dochi, like she just had this epic rise to fame, and people discovered those very first TikToks where she was like, all right, I just got fired from my job, like I guess I'm gonna do this thing. And that made her so much more authentic, it made her so much more relatable. And so anytime as a brand builder, an influencer marketer, I think if you can do that, it's just gonna have so much more weight.
Yeah. Agree. All right, now let's get into performance, because I think even from the start of this industry to now, what people are looking and measuring and tracking has shifted over time. Scarlette, I'm sure you've seen this big shift in performance and what your clients even are looking for. So what are the metrics that your clients are prioritizing today?
Yeah, I mean, definitely echoing a few that were already mentioned: link clicks, story views, any sort of affiliate or performance data. We're even asking influencers like, hey, have you done any kind of boosting or like whitelisting that you can kind of share? A lot of my clients are really trying to get top of funnel influencer marketing down to conversion and performance, and honestly, like vanity metrics are really fun. I think they're a big part of the overall storytelling, but we're getting deep into the data.
What about you, Megan? What do you think brands are looking for?
Well, I did ask my manager about this because she keeps me busy, thankfully. And I'm a micro-influencer. Like, I'm not a macro-influencer yet. But she said that the reason that people book me is because of the comments I generate. I have like a pretty strong knit community. And so with the comments, I start a conversation. So I might not be getting like a bunch, hundreds of thousands of views or shares or anything like that, but they really book me for the comments.
Yeah, I look at comments every time. So.
Yeah, if people are engaging, if they're like talking, yeah. And what do you find are brand asks that lead to like real proper engagement versus those that sort of hinder it? What are the briefs that you like to get versus those that you feel like maybe stifle your creativity?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was talked about a few times today. I do love a good brief. I want the do's, I want the don'ts, I love when a brand sends me my content back that made them book me.
Oh.
Meaning like, oh, we really loved this video and this is how we were able to envision you for our campaign. If you, like, it gives me a vibe that I can go for. I love seeing what points they want to get across, but don't give me a script. I'm so sorry. People, like, viewers hate a script. I'm not a big fan of a script. I do want the main points that you want me to talk about, the overall vibe, what you're exactly looking for. And I do love a brand call, like a one-on-one, even if it's like 10 minutes. I just recently had one with Skims, and they did send a brief prior, but we had a call. It was super quick, and then it helped me get the content they wanted exactly with no edits back, and so it just saves time on both ends, just that like extra 10 minutes. So I love a good brief with very, very thorough.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, with the people, creators, and we had it from Stormy too, they actually want more. They want more information. It's helpful in the process. What about a moment where something flopped, where something didn't hit the result, didn't hit the performance?
Oh man, I feel like we flop all the time, but in the best way possible, because we're testing and learning so much. And honestly, like, I mean, we were talking about this earlier, like, I like the word flop and not a fail, because you learn from every single moment. Oh gosh, where do I begin? I think honestly, over-prescribing to influencers. We have a client who I will not name that just kind of treats every paid partnership like a paid media play, and it shows in the organic views. So we have to constantly have that conversation. So hearing it from the influencer herself, like, we need to do a better job sometimes with that.
Yeah. I'm constantly flopping. And I'm not afraid to say that because it's kind of like the spaghetti thing you were saying. You like see what sticks and what resonates with your audience. And if I cared about flopping too much, I wouldn't post, if I'm going to be really honest. But you have to have a certain level of audacity to just like post what you want, and I just hope the right people will find me, the right eyes will see it. Yeah. And if it doesn't, that's fine. But lately, within the last year or so, because I was in my head a lot about flopping, and I was like, I have to get over this if I want to continue in this space. So yeah, it's a constant flop era over here. But I learned from it for sure. I do. And some things don't flop. And I just started a new series, and it actually did really well. And then the next one flopped. And I'm like, well, I gotta keep going, because I know what message I want to spread with this, and I know eventually it will hit, but it's not gonna be right away. So I gotta keep going.
Yeah, I think flopping's a good thing because you learn. You learn,
absolutely.
And it's like the surprising things are sometimes the ones that go viral and they stick. So I think a flop is a good thing because you've learned at the end of the day. So
yeah, and flopping once, like, that could be a one-off. Like, try and flop it 2 or 3 times. Those are where the learning stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, we're gonna finish with a bit of a lightning round. So I'm gonna give you 2 options, and you're gonna give me your answer. Okay? No overthinking, just fire away. All right, trust you gut. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram.
Ooh. YouTube or Snapchat?
YouTube.
Ooh. YouTube or Instagram?
Instagram.
Oh, winner.
I'm a millennial.
Yeah. Okay, paid partnerships or gifting?
Paid.
Gifting.
Okay, see the difference there?
Follow me.
Discount codes or affiliate links?
Affiliate.
Discount.
See? UGC or campaigns, polished campaigns?
Both. I love both, but UGC as of late.
Yeah, UGC.
Micro or macro creator?
Micro.
Yeah.
I'm biased.
Creator briefing decks? Yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Spreadsheets or GRIN?
GRIN.
Come on. GRIN, obviously.
Manual workflows or AI?
Gia.
Hi! All right. Well, you guys heard it from them, not me. I didn't push that. All right. Well, why don't we open it up to the audience and see if there are any questions? Any questions? Oh, another hand. Yes.
I know we kind of talked about all day about relationship building and stuff. When it comes to your audience and building that relationship, can you talk more about kind of how you build trust with your audience on your platform?
Oh yeah, I would love to talk about this. I feel like trust is like the biggest form of currency right now because I'm a creator, but I'm also a consumer, and like I can count on one hand how many creators I actually trust, because I'm tired of like somebody saying this is the best eyebrow gel that I've ever used in my life. It lasted me 24 hours and it didn't flake, and then I went and bought it and it lasted me 15 minutes. I don't want to do that. So I think trust is so important, and I've actually with fashion it's different, but with beauty recently, right? What is it? No matter how big the creator is, if they're saying every other mascara is the best mascara they've ever used, they lose that trust, and then the conversion's not there. So for me, an internal process that I built with my my management team is if a beauty brand reaches out to me wanting to endorse a product, I need to try it first and actually know if it works before I endorse it, because I don't feel comfortable lying to my audience. I really don't. I will reject a deal if that means I have to lie to my audience. So I think my audience knows that, and that's why they trust me. And so slowly but surely I'm building that, and just not trying to endorse everything. And also making sure that I personally love the product before I'm comfortable endorsing it.
Sure. Consumers are savvy. You know, they
Oh,
can
yeah.
spot things from a mile away.
And I feel like I take it very seriously when somebody trusts me with their buying power. Like I really take that seriously. So if somebody's in my DMs like, okay, how did you really feel about this? I'll really tell them how I feel about it. So
Love that.
I feel like it's also up to the influencer marketer to vet for that, right? Like if you're doing a mascara campaign and you don't have exclusivity, like check for when that last mascara ad was posted and have them really try it. Ask questions that would help you understand if they actually tried the product before they bought it, or before they made the content.
exactly.
Yeah, good question. Any others?
We were just so good. We just
Covered all bases. All right. Well, I think we can wrap it up there. Thank you guys so much. I loved that. It was really fun.